Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is the Prince of FNAF, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and also be sure to hit that notification bell. That way, you'll indeed be notified for any awesome videos like this in the future. The Goosebumps Show is a 1995 horror anthology series based around the books written by R.L. Stine of the same name. This live-action series, based on R.L. Stine's award-winning book series, places average kids in a weird, alternate reality where they find themselves facing such situations as a haunted amusement park, possessed Halloween masks, and other bizarre and supernatural occurrences. The show aired on various children's programming from 1995 until most recently in 2014. The show ran for 4 amazing, fright-filled seasons. And whilst the monster designs created for the show were not at all accurate to the cover art shown on each of the monsters' respective stories, what was done to superb effect for this series was they told all of the individual stories to the teeth, biting down and showcasing us a awesome live-action rendition of the stories we grew up reading. Most of the stories got their own episodes with titles like Stay Out of the Basement, The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, Night of the Living 1, 2, and 3, as well as The Haunted Mask, One Day at Horrorland, Return of the Mummy, and various other stories that were adapted for the series. And whilst the monster designs were far from being accurate to the original cover art shown on some of my favorite Goosebumps books, I kinda let it slide as a kid. Regardless of how cheesy the designs were and how cheesy the stories were, they did generally follow the stories to the T, and I like to believe that when directing the series, the directors and the special effects team wanted to create some distance between their versions of R.L. Stine's famous monsters and characters, and just have their version of the characters be on their show, which is a nice way of separating the two mediums. As a kid, I think the thing that really got me into the TV series, of course, was the books. As a young child, I loved the books. I would buy them every chance I got at a flea market, at Value Village, at a pawn shop, and even most of the time I would just get them from the source itself, as my school library would often get damaged Goosebumps books, and me and my brother would go through the discount pile of books that the library would just give away to people, and me and my brother would find these books and we would fix them and we would read them, and we loved these stories. And I think that's what really made me enjoy the series so much, is that the series literally brought all the stories I grew up reading and having read to me. It was tons of fun, and I enjoyed seeing all the stories be brought to life on a small screen in front of me. I wouldn't consider the show scary, using the term very mildly, but I would consider the show to have disturbing imagery across various different episodes. Something that I find really rekindled the kind of horror that R.L. Stine used in his books. Whilst it was really cheesy, it still worked for the TV series. Some of my favorite episodes were obviously my favorite books as a kid, which include titles like Monster Blood, The Ghost Next Door, Say Cheese and Die, Night of the Living Dummy, One Day at Horrorland, and Deep Trouble, just to name a few. With talks about a new adult-orientated Goosebumps TV series coming out, I thought now would be the best time to talk about the original series before the new one comes out, considering that this series has a special place in my heart, and I even have a couple episodes on some DVDs that came out when the series was brand new. And I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about one of my favorite childhood shows. While the show is very, very cheesy compared to today's standards, I still think it's a definite watch, and you shouldn't knock it until you try it, because it pays the original story's tribute and I think it's tons of fun, even as a guilty pleasure. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my look at the Goosebumps show. And with that being said, hear beware, or in for a scare, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Do take care.